Hey guys, it's Miasma from Gyre Media here, and today I'm super excited to be doing my very first anime review on this channel. This is something I want to make a regular thing on the channel, as well as our website, which I will link below in the description. I'm going to be writing a whole bunch of blog posts about anime that I want to review and other stuff, and the videos that I put on here that I'm going to dub my anime reviews are going to be sort of the TLDR version, I guess you can call it, of my blog posts, because those are going to be a lot more detailed. And yeah, please feel free to check that out. Like I said, I'll link that down below in the description. As always, guys, on any of my reviews, please comment down below and on how you felt about the show that I'm talking about. And yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get into my review of Makoto Shinkai's Your Name. Makoto Shinkai, he's a genius. If you've watched any videos on my channel, you know how much I really love this guy. So I can't really talk about one of his films without talking about the man himself and the work that he has consistently put out for many years. I think that the guy's a genius. And you could say what you will about his stories. They usually reach a kind of conclusion that you might not expect, given like a lot of Western culture stuff that comes out. His stories aren't really the best written in the world, but damn, they can tell a story that'll hit you right in the feels like a sledgehammer, and it'll leave you wrecked emotionally like a piece of spidered windshield. His most recent film, Kimi no Nawa, or Your Name, is undoubtedly one of the biggest box office success stories that has hit the anime world. It is a fantastic film, and one that you should definitely check out if you have not yet. Shinkai films utilize the power of the visual medium that was common in Hayao Miyazaki's films as well. But he does this sort of differently. Shinkai films typically are about a romance, and in a world where the whimsy of romance can seem overdone in some areas at times, or they're sort of overcomplicated, Shinkai creates a fusion of harsh reality and relatable romance. Shinkai loves the concept of time and space and sheds light on the negative aspects of such things that can make or break real-life relationships. His films challenge the reality of romance, torturing the concept in some ways, seeing how long it can hold out and what it can withstand. And he does so with breathtaking visuals. His staff does some of the best animation I have ever seen, and Your Name is right up there. It is one of the most beautiful movies, probably the most beautiful anime in general I think I have ever seen to date. Its color, character designs, and even the subtle realistic touch put into every fine detail, from a tomato being cut on a table or someone's hair blowing in the wind. Everything just looks so realistic and has such vivid detail. The music in this film was also very enjoyable, although, if I did have to say something, I watched this in dub, and if you're going to watch it in dub, they translated a lot of the music, which for me was I had gotten so used to, from the previews and stuff like that, hearing the Japanese songs, and it was really weird hearing them in English. But maybe that was just a personal thing. That might not bother you, but it kind of bothered me a little bit. And again, that's not really a negative on the film, just something that I thought was weird. The voice acting was also great in this film, as Funimation again hits the ball out of the park with this dub. The story, I don't want to spoil too much about it, but it basically follows a boy named Taki and a girl named Mitsuha. Taki lives in Tokyo. He lives in the city, and he's a student, and he works at like a restaurant, and he's got a lot of confusions about where he wants to go in life. Conversely, Mitsuha she's kind of set in her life. She lives out in like the boonies somewhere. She lives in this wooded area, and she is from a family of Shinto background. She's like sort of like a priestess. They make like this wine stuff. It's a little confusing if you're like me and you don't know a lot about Shinto, but they're very traditional in that religion, and it's kind of, all of her friends kind of know that's part of her life. She's sort of embarrassed of it, and she has to like do all this stuff, being part of that family. She really doesn't feel comfortable in her life, and neither does Taki really. both of them have that commonality of being uncomfortable where they are, which I think is something that a lot of people can relate to, and is something I really liked about these characters. Now, the movie gets into when both of the characters go to sleep and they dream, and for the beginning of the film they just think that this is some weird dream thing where they're in another body. They think that they're just having this weird out-of-body experience. Taki is a girl in his dreams, and Mitsuha is a guy in her dreams. And now they just sort of, this is just a dream. This is just a dream. But the reality of the situation sets in when stuff that they're doing in their dreams starts to affect each other's reality. And thus, we find out that they are body switching when they go to sleep. And the movie really covers how is this possible, and what antics they could do. There is some humor in the film too with the body switching, but it does have a very serious aspect to it too. This is definitely not a comedy film, but it did a very good job of balancing the comedy with some of the darker tones, which it has with the characters switching bodies and living in each other's situations and learning to understand the struggles that both of them go through. I don't want to spoil any more really, but going into that, but the film will describe how this happens, why this happens, and there's tragic events in both of their lives that they have to deal with. And why should you watch this movie? Well, I think you should watch Your Name because the animation alone is awe-inspiring. It is beautiful. Oh man, I don't know how they did it sometimes, but if you've never seen a Shinkai film, he does a lot of sort of like rotoscoping aspects, but it's not rotoscoping that looks bad. And he bases a lot of his imagery on real life places, which I'm sure this film does as well. And there are aspects of this where you could take a wallpaper from this film and it almost look like an actual picture. And you could say that with many of his other films as well. The dialogue is outstanding, and the jokes will hit across cultural barriers. I mean, I watched this in the dub, and the dub was good, and the jokes were still funny, although they kind of hit this one joke over and over again. I'm not going to say what it is, but I just found it kind of repetitive after a while. But, a lot of the audience kept laughing at it, so I guess maybe that's just a personal thing. The trials that the characters go through will hit you emotionally. And above all else, the film is definitely a hypnotic journey from start to finish. It was not boring at all. You were constantly wondering what's going to happen next. You worry about these characters. Are there flaws in the movie? Sure. Personally, I think that, like I said, the jokes could be repetitive. And personally, I thought that the film, for having two main characters, did not have the best balance between them. Mitsuha, the girl main character, gets a lot more screen time than Taki, in my opinion. A lot more development. We know a lot more about her life being where she, in her, bungalow town where she lives, than we do about Taki. We know a little bit about Taki, but it just definitely was more about Mitsuha. And I wish that they could have maybe balanced that out more. But besides those few things, I got really no flaws with this. It was such a great film from start to finish, and I can't wait to watch it again. I'm definitely going to buy this when it's available, I hope. I just hope that it's not some crazy expensive release like I'm kind of expecting it to be. But Your Name is definitely a masterpiece, and it deserves that 98% that it currently has on Rotten Tomatoes, for sure. Go watch it. If you have already seen it, watch it again. And maybe, I guess I would recommend checking out some of Shinkai's other works if you have not yet. You definitely check out Voices of a Distant Star, The Place Promised in Our Early Days, 5 centimeters per second, Children Who Chase Lost Voices, and The Garden of Words. Hopefully you can find something to your liking among those films. But yeah, what did you guys think about Your Name? I know I kind of only shed a little bit of light on the story because I didn't want to spoil it, because I really want you guys to go see it. Please go see it. And if you have, please let me know down below what you guys thought. I'm dying to know, and I think that this guy, Makoto Shinkai, is definitely a director on the rise, and he's just going to keep pumping out these great films. And I really can only hope, because it's just going to make me happier and happier as an anime fan. But yeah, as always, guys, this is Bobby from Gyre Media, signing out.